all about quadratic equations. In order to solve quadratic equations, students should master factorization, should master completing square method, quadratic formula, direct solution to quadratic equation, and expanding quadratic equation. Now, suppose we had a quadratic equation like 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. Let's start by factorizing. Now, to factorize this equation, we need to get the product between 2x squared, this number, and this number, taking into consideration the sign before the number, multiplied by 3, we get 6x squared. The next step, we need to get the multiples of this number, multiples. But the multiples should be such that if you add the individual multiples, you should get this number, negative 5x. Now, to get the multiples of 6x squared, we need to get the prime factors of 6x squared. Now, the smallest prime factor is 2. 2 divided by 6x squared, we have 3x squared. The other smallest factor is 3. 3 divided by 3x squared, we get x squared. Let's not get the prime factors of x squared for the time being. Now, this means that the possible multiples of 6x squared are take 2 multiplied by 3 and then assign x to either of the two multiples so that we have 2x times 3x, and then take the 2 times 3, you get 6x, and then multiply the remaining x. Remember also that negative 2x multiplied by negative 3x, these values are negative, and negative 6x multiplied by negative x, we also get 6x squared. So these are the possible values, the possible multiples of 6x squared. Now, out of these multiples, find 2 if you add the negative 5x. Now, if you add this and this, you get 5x. If you add this and this, you get 7x. If you add this and this, you get negative 5x. This is what we want. So we have 2x, negative 2x, multiplied by negative 3x, we get 6x squared. Having done that, now substitute these values for 5x, so that you have 2x squared minus 2x minus 3x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, group them like this. So get what is common between here and here is 2x. So what remains of here is x, and what remains of here is 1. Now, the other side, we have 3 being common there, so that we have inside x. We should turn this sign to negative 1, because when we are expanding negative and negative, so it gives us a positive is equal to 0. Now, so factorize, we have 2x minus 3 into x minus 1 gives us 0. This means that the value of x is either 3 divided by 2 or 1, or x is equal to 1, because 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, then make x the subject of the formula get 2 over 3. X minus 1 is equal to 0, makes x the subject of the formula get x is 1. That's about factorization. Now, let's look at a hint. Let's look at a hint, how you can factorize quickly. Now, having gotten the product and the multiple, we can draw a 3 by 3 table. A 3 by 3 table, we shall draw a table like this, so that each value goes in this sign. So that is, we reduce this row so that it is 3 by 3. This is 3, 3. Now, we know this part, 5x, negative 5x. Negative 5x is composed of negative 2x and negative 3x. Now, find the number this side and this side, we multiply this. You can see here we have 2x squared. So I can have 2 here, 2x, I can have 2x here. It means I need a negative on this side to multiply with this to get that. Now, having taken 2x here, we are remaining with x. So we have x. It means I need negative 3x on this side, so that when I multiply, I get that. Now, having done that, I draw diagonals like that, so that I have 2x minus 3. Then I draw another diagonal like that, so that I have x minus 1 is equal to 0. Factorization is complete. And then we solve for the value of x, we shall get x is equal to 3 over 2 or 1. Now, let's look at the other part that the student needs to know. The student needs to know the other part. We say this needs to know about completing square method. Now, let's have our equation 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. To complete the squares, we must make this value 1. So, which means we shall divide across by 2. So, if we divide across by 2, we have x squared minus 5 over 2x plus 3 over 2 is equal to 0. The next step is take this value the other side, or subtract this value from both sides. If we do so, we get x squared minus 5 over 2x gives us negative 3 over 2. The next step is take a half of this value squared, and add it on both sides. So we have x squared less 5 over 2x plus 5 over 4. A half of 5 over 2 is 5 over 4 because we multiply this value by a half. And remember, I said it should be squared is equals to, we add it on this side also, 5 over 4 squared less 3 over 2. Now, let's factorize this side. If you factorize this side, we get x less 5 over 4 is equals to, simplify this side, what do we get? This squared is 16, this squared is 25. So the LCM is 16. And then we get 25 less 24. Remember, the denominator is 16, so 2 goes into 16. How many times? 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24. So that's it. Let's continue solving. This is a square. Now get the square root on both sides. If we get the square root on both sides, we shall have x minus 5 over 4 is equals to, this is 1 over 16. So the square root is positive or negative. The numerator is 1. The square of 1 is 1. The numerator is 16. The square of 16 is 4. So that will be the square root of 1 over 16, the positive or negative a quarter. Now, let's find the values of x. It means we shall take this value the other side so that we have x is equals to positive or negative a quarter plus 5 over 4. You can clearly see that x is equals to, if you take a quarter plus 5 over 4, we get 6 over 4. Simplify, you get 3 over 2. Or if you take negative a quarter plus 5 over 4, you get 4 over 4, which is 1. So x is equals to 3 over 2, or 1. Now let's look at the third part, the quadratic formula. Let's look at the quadratic formula. All quadratic equations are in the form of x squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. That's how all quadratic equations are. Now, quadratic formula more or less builds from the completing square method, which we have seen. Now, what shall we do? We shall make this part to be x alone, so we shall divide a across. If we divide a across, we have x squared plus bx over a plus c over a is equals to 0. Now the next step is to take this value the other side, so that we have x squared plus bx over a is equals to negative c over a. Now the next step is now to add half of ba on both sides. So we shall have x squared plus bx over a plus b, half of ba is b over 2a is equals to b over 2a less c over a. Now the next step is now to factorize. If we factorize this part, we have x plus b over 2a. Sorry for this, this should be squared. We are adding a half of bx squared on both sides. So if you factorize, this is what we get. What about on the other side? On the other side, remember, 2a squared is 4a squared. B squared is b squared. So the LCM here is 4a squared, so that this one will remain the same because this is 4a and here ones, so that we have b squared. What about the other side? A goes into 4a squared how many times? Because there are 4a times, so that we have 4ac. Now the next step is to take the square root on both sides. If we take the square root on both sides, it shall cancel with this power, so that we have x plus b over 2a is equals to positive or negative of this part. Now, you can see this part, the upper part will remain 2 minus 4a c. You cannot get the square root of that, but you can get the square root of the denominator, which becomes 2a. Now, having done that, we subtract this b over 2 on both sides. If we subtract b over 2 on both sides, we have x is equals to negative b over 2a plus positive or negative b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now you can clearly see that see the denominator is the same. You can rewrite the equation by saying 2a denominator the same, so that we have negative b into positive or negative the square root of b squared minus 4ac. That's how we derive the quadratic formula. Now, having done this quadratic formula, let's go back to our equation. Remember, our equation was 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 is equals to 0. And we have x should be equal to negative b. This is the value of b, negative b. So we have negative b and we have b, so negative, so negative 5. Now, inside the square root, we have b squared. So positive or negative b squared. The value of b is negative 5. So it's 5, negative 5 squared minus 4 multiplied by the value of a. This is a is 2. Multiplied by the value of c is 3. All this into the square root all over 2 multiplied by the value of a, which is 2. So simplify. So the value of x becomes x is equals to negative 5 multiplied by negative 5, negative 1 multiplied by negative 5, we get 5. Positive plus, this is negative 5 squared, that is 25. Negative 4 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3, that is negative 24. So 25 minus 24, we get 1. 1 has a square root, so we get the square root of 1, it is just 1. Remember, this is all over 4. So if we took 5 plus 1, we get 6. Divided by 4, we get that x is equals to 3 over 2. Now if we took 5 minus 1, we get 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so we get x is equals to 1. That's how we apply the quadratic equation or the quadratic formula. Now let's look at graphical solution. Graphical solution to quadratic equation. Let's still hold our equation. We have 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 is equals to 0. Now how shall we solve this equation quadratically? We shall change the equation to say y is equals to 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 is equals to 0. And then we introduce a table where we have the values of x and the values of y. So let me have this table to range between the values of 0 for x to 3. So if x is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think that's enough to 3. Let's not go beyond that. Now, if x is 0, wherever this x substitute 0, so this is 0 squared, and I'm multiplied by 0 is 0, so this is 0, it means that y is 3. What remains of this equation is 3. If x is 1, 1 squared multiplied by 2 is 2, and then 5 squared multiplied by 1 is 5. So 2 minus 5 is 3, plus this 3, it means that the value of y is 0. Now, similarly, if we work for x, when x is 2, we get the value of y is 1, and when x is 3, substituting the value of x here and here, we will get that the value of y is 6. Now, having gotten those values, we have a Cartesian plane. Assuming I'm going to scale, but I'm not going to go to scale, we have a Cartesian plane like that. So that we have here values for x. This is 0. Sorry, this is 0. 0 where the x's meet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this is negative 1. So that when x is 0, here, y is 3. When x is 1 here, y is 0. When x is 2 here, y is 1, somewhere there. When x is 3 here, y is 6. So that's our graph goes like this. There will be a smooth curve like that. So this graph is equals to y is equals to 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. You label like that. So this is x, this is y. You can clearly see that the values of x approximately where the curve cuts the x-axis. So you can see the first value is 1, and this curve also cuts somewhere here. It's approximately 1.5. 1.5 if you do this graph to scale. It's approximately 1.5. So that's how we solve graphically. Now, lastly, let's look at how we can expand quadratic equations. Now we have an equation that is like this: 2x minus 3 and x minus 1. How do you expand such an equation? Let's say it's equal to 0. Conventionally, we expand like this: we multiply this value by that, we multiply that, this value by that, we multiply this value by that, we multiply this value by that, so that we have 2x multiplied by x, we have 2x squared, and then 2x multiplied by negative 1, we have negative 2x. We have finished these two arrows. Now we are going to the down arrow. So we have negative 3 multiplied by x, we have negative 3x. Negative 3 multiplied by negative 1, we have positive 3. Then these values are similar. We have 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 is equals to 0. That's how we expand conventionally. Now, here is a hint in expanding. We can draw a 3 by 3 table, and then we put this value 2x, we put it here, draw diagonal, and put negative 3 here. Now, sorry, it should be 3 by 3 table. Now, how this x here, and then cross the diagonal and put -1 here. So multiply this by this, you get -2x. This by this, you get -3x. Now, multiply this by this, you get 2x squared. Add this and this, you get -5x. Multiply this and this, you get 3 is equals to 0. So this is positive, this is negative. So this is the expansion. The expansion is complete. Now, hint number 2, that was hint 1. Hint number 2, if you want to expand, you can say this part, this part and this part. You can take this part or this part and repeat it twice. Let me take this part first. So you shall have 2x minus 3. Repeat it into 2, but leave space, leave some space. So you have 2x minus 3. Now what was remaining of this part was x minus 1. So put it here, x, and then -1, put it here. Now multiply. This time this you get 2x squared. This time this you get -3x. This time this you get -2x. This time this you get +3 is equals to 0. So these are common. So you have 2x, then add this -5x plus 3 is equals to 0. Now suppose under hint 2, instead of taking 2x minus 3, I took x minus 1. So I took x, so I take x minus 1, repeat it, x minus 1. Remember to leave space here. So here and here insert what is remaining of the other part. So the other part is 2x. So 2x, and then this is -3. So multiply. This time this you get 2x squared. This time this you get -2x. This time this you get -3x. This time this you get +3 is equal to 0. These are common, they are similar. So you have 2x. You have 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0.